Good? Is it still morning for some people, or are you all awake? Trying to put some Christmas carols before, but then I heard there's this silent music that was playing. I was like, oh, people are gonna go to sleep now. So, is everyone up?
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, welcome to our event, Personal Branding, with our amazing invites, Google Garage and Scott. And as you might already know, we are Manchester entrepreneurs, and we are really, really welcome to have you here. The agenda for today, you're going to meet two amazing people, as I already mentioned. I'm talking about Scott, that is going to give you like a really brief introduction about personal branding, and he will tell you hopefully new stuff and really, really amazing things that you can apply also for you as a person, and how you can scale that and go further. And then we have Phil from Google Garage that is going to tell more about data and how to analyze it. To sum up, well, welcome again, and I'll just leave Scott to make his presentation.
Awesome. Welcome guys, I'm Scott Mears. Thank you for coming today. And this is on personal branding. This is just a bit of introduction to who I am, so you know who's speaking to you today. I'm Scott Mears, 23 years old. I graduated this year in business management, and I went to the opposing university, MMU, which I said business management, and I now run a digital marketing agency called Unlock Your Life, and I've done digital marketing for 2.5 years. So I'm going to run a bit of a personal branding competition just to make it more interesting and really show you the power of personal branding. So if you subscribe to my channel today, I'll pick someone at random after the talk. I'll pick someone at random and I will commit a mentoring session where we'll do 1 hour and we'll go through your personal branding strategy and how to do it, and I'll just do everything and help you through personal branding. So I'll do that at the end of the talk if you just go there. Okay, so what are we going to cover today? What is personal branding? Why is it important? How can you do it yourself? Personal brand safety, how to master it in 2018, and just a few examples you can go home and actually look at. So what is personal branding? I'm going to give you a really boring definition first. So personal branding is the practice of people marketing themselves and their careers as brand. Success comes from packaging. The way I treat it is just like treating yourself as a product. It's like you're a product coming off a machinery line. That is what personal branding is. You're treating yourself as a product, you're packaging yourself as a professional brand online. So do you already have a personal brand? So hands up, do you think you already have a personal brand? Okay, interesting. So there's like 3 or 4 of you have a personal brand. Now put your hands up if you have a social media account. So that's 100% of them. So you do all have some sort of personal brand. Whether you force someone trying to create a personal brand, you've already created some sort of personality online already. Just from making any post, you create some sort of personality online. So you already have a personal brand without knowing it. So it is going to be heavily online today. However, just to make you aware, personal brand can be affected both on and offline. So just so you're aware, and I will touch on that, but we're going to heavily focus online, but I just want you to be aware it can be on and offline personal branding. So why is it important? Competition, this is the really obvious one, the job competition. This is really obvious. I'm sure you know how hard it is to get a job, even with a degree, how difficult it is to get a job and even set up a company. So it's just gonna, especially if you're going into the creative industry, you have to get real with it. If you're saying you're a social media expert or you're really good at social media, then you go onto your Twitter and you've got 5 followers, you've got 100 followers. It just doesn't really speak what you're saying. So it's, in competition terms, it really is powerful. And you have to be aware now, 70% of recruiters are using social media as a screening process. They're now using social media as a screening process. Therefore, that is the reality of the recruitment process now, that social media is actually being used. I'm just going to record this because I realised I didn't have this on. So LinkedIn is another crucial one when it comes to that as well. So everything is seen. And the best example of that is Jack Maynard. Do any of what you celebrity get me out of here? No. Well, Jack Maynard, basically what happened to him is what he did is he said some pretty awful comments on Twitter, but it was about 7 years ago. And he got thrown off Celebrity Get Me Out straight away. And this was like 7 years ago he made these tweets. They were pretty bad tweets, quite racist. However, that just really shows you the power of online, because these are tweets that he did when he was like 16 years old, and they've completely destroyed him being a celebrity. Get me out of here. So it really is the power of everything is seen, and this can affect job opportunities, it can affect clients, it can affect all sorts. It builds your profile presence. So this is key. I'm just going to do that on record. There we go. Happy days. So it builds your profile presence. So that's why LinkedIn is so good, because it's an actual professional network. That's why LinkedIn is so good. So you can actually build professional leads that are going to be valuable leads. So it builds, I call it your industry power ranking. Because if you could build your online presence, that really can help you. And that's why I believe I got this talk here today, because I built my power ranking. I've gone to events, I've run events, and I've put myself in opportunities to build my presence in the Manchester area. And this is the main thing that it does, and this is the best thing of personal branding, is it positions you as an expert. And that is the greatest thing, because if you're confident in your abilities and you're seen as the expert, people are going to buy into you. People are going to buy stuff off you. They're going to listen to you. And that's the main thing when it comes to personal branding, is it's going to position you as an expert, and it's going to get you opportunities like this, me doing a talk. But confidence is going to be the main driver to your personal brand. Confidence in your abilities, and we're going to really drive to that. Because if you have confidence in yourself, other people will have confidence in you. So how can you do it yourself? So you can go away from this talk and actually have practical skills and actually apply it yourself. So I'm sure you know all these social media. I'm sure you know them all. There's a bunch of social media. I'm going to break them down into two categories. So there's LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm guessing you have most of these. If you don't have LinkedIn, I strongly urge you get that after this. Now, these, what I say, is the bare minimum when it comes to personal branding. Now, if you want to take it down again, I'd say LinkedIn and Facebook, but really I would say these are the three bare minimum. Now, they offer different issues and opportunities. LinkedIn is fantastic because it's an actual professional network. So you can actually get true leads, genuinely valuable leads that can genuinely give you opportunities and help you for your business and for your job opportunities. Facebook poses a big issue because we're millennials. We grew up with Facebook. So that means we've probably said some things we probably regret on there. We've probably put some photos that we regret and probably said a few things we regret, which is fine because that happens when we're 13, 14, whenever you adopt it. So that poses a problem. So you have to be aware of that, and we'll talk about that in brand safety. But the two things you can do with that is either lock your account to other people or just delete the stuff. That's what I've done, is just delete some risque stuff you've done in the past. Twitter, this is an interesting platform because on Twitter, on average, every second there's 6,000 tweets a second. So this is what I call the shouting platform. This is where everyone just has something to say. It's our news platform. It's where you find out news and trends. So this is really good to make your mark of personal branding and really just have your say on industry changes and just basically shout what you believe. But just be aware it's a very noisy platform, so you do have to post a lot on Twitter. Then you go to these three. Now the core difference, I'm sure you've noticed, is these are visual-based platforms. And the core difference this does, I'm going to say the word layers a lot. And what I mean by layers is when you start, this is the biggest hurdle you'll face when you do personal branding, is when you start personal branding, you're going to show this layer of you. And that layer of you isn't you. It's just what you want people to see. Because that's what we use social media as. We just use social media to promote stuff we want people to see. When we've won a reward, when we go into a concert. That's what we do. That's how we use social media. But when you get personal branding, you'll go to this layer. And that is more you, but you're still it's a little bit fake. Then you get to this layer where it is truly you, and you're honest, and you ask for opinions, and you're open about not knowing things. That's when you're really going to kill it in personal branding, when you're honest. And that's what this does, because you can be honest with imagery and videos. There's no lying, because you can be honest through these platforms. And that's why I'm going to really say video. Everyone says content is king. I'm sure you've heard that. When it comes to personal branding, video is king. Video is king when it comes to personal branding, and Gary Vee is a big one for that. So you're probably wondering, how do you create all this content? So blogging/vlogging. So the good thing about blogging is it shows your journey. And again, this is the different layers of it. By blogging, it shows that you're improving each week. Instead of just saying, I know everything, I know everything, I know everything, it's showing your journey. So by doing blogging, especially if it's on a daily basis, if not a weekly basis, then it's showing your journey. And that's what people are going to buy into. They're going to buy into because they'll resonate with that. They're not going to resonate with someone who just knows everything. They're going to resonate with someone who's struggling as well, because they're struggling as well. But you're open about it, and you're confident, and they're going to buy into that. A big thing when it comes to content creation is document against create. That's something Gary Vee, I'm sure you all know Gary Vee, a big one he really pushes, is document against create. Now, I'll explain what that means. So, basically, you can create, but it's just going to be so much more stressful when it comes to content creation. Documenting basically means, so for example, what I do, I document my learning as an entrepreneur. I open people to the journey as an entrepreneur, and everything I learn each day, I then communicate through a video. So that's how I document. I'm not creating something out of nothing. So you can vlog, but I know not all of you will want to vlog, but there are ways of vlogging in a sense that you don't have to necessarily vlog your whole day. You can just vlog parts of it, like I just communicate my learnings from that day. So I'm documenting, so I don't have to think about what content I'm creating. If you're always having to think what you're going to create the next day, it's going to be really tough, and it's not going to be very true to who you are. So document against create. This is a huge power tip when it comes to building up your personal brand. Is the 3 different ways of communication/consumption. This is a huge power tip. So there's 3 different ways we can consume. It's visual, written, and audio. Now, this is why video's king, is because by doing a video, you nail every one of these. And I'll explain why. If you do a video, just from YouTube, you can transcribe that. You can do that in YouTube. YouTube allows you to do that. You can transcribe it, take all what you've said, and you can smarten it up so it looks a bit nicer. So there we go, we've got your video and we've got your written blog. Then you can just extract the audio. So now you have your audio. So from one video, you suddenly have 3 different consumptions of communication. So you're still niche, you're still focusing on what you're promoting. However, you're widening your audience because you're allowing people to consume in different ways. And that's really key because you have to appreciate people consume in different ways. And most people do video now, but people still consume audio. People still like to read. So that really is a killer tip when it comes to doing videos. So this is probably where most of you are at. Put your hands up who would be honestly confident to go home now, do a video and put it on YouTube today. Okay, so a lot less, even less than 50% here. So that is the main thing, is people are too scared. And I wanted to cover this issue because I knew that was going to be the issue, because that was my issue. And that's what most people's issues are. Now I'm going to hit you with some pretty heavy quotes. And the reason I'm going to hit you with these heavy quotes is because the reason it goes quite deep. But the reason I want to do it is because, yes, it's very useful for this part of the presentation, but it's even more useful for both being successful in business and life. It's really key. So these are some pretty heavy quotes. So has anyone ever heard "get comfortable with being uncomfortable"? Have you heard of that quote? It's quite a big quote. And this is David Goggins. If you don't know David Goggins, I strongly advise you go see him. He's a bit more risky. He really he brands himself as the world's hardest man, and I don't doubt it. He's a Navy SEAL ultramarathon runner. He's crazy. But this is all about just doing the things that are getting comfortable. At the end of the day, you're never confident in things that you do first. If you're always doing things you're comfortable with, then you're not progressing. You're not moving forward because it means you already know how to do it. You're already confident in it. So get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And the quick tip with building confidence is doing Facebook Lives. Now, Facebook Live sounds like probably the most daunting thing because it's live, but that's why it's so great. So if you do a few Facebook Lives, that's really going to boost your confidence in videos. And you'll be confident. If you're doing it every day, you'll be really confident within a few weeks. So really, that is a key one for not just personal branding, but for business and life in general. Do things that make you uncomfortable, because then that means you're progressing. The second you're doing things comfortable, you're not progressing. So confidence in your abilities and skills. Like I said, this is the strongest driver of personal branding. Hands up, this is what's going to drive your personal brand. Because if you don't have confidence, no one's going to have confidence in you. And that's so key. So you have to be confident in yourself. Now you're probably saying, you're going to be genuine on your profile about, I don't know things. That's fine. Yes, you don't know some things, and be open with that. But it doesn't matter to be confident about what you do know. You can still be confident even though you don't know things. That's fine. So be confident with your abilities, because it's going to open you to situations and opportunities like me getting this talk and me running events. It's given me those opportunities because I've been confident in my abilities. Therefore, it instills confidence in me. So confidence is going to be the biggest driver when it comes to personal brand. So these are just a few power tips. Comment on up-to-date news and trends. That does a few things. One, it just shows that your account is live. And two, it just shows that you know what you're talking about, you're in sync with what's going on, and you're having your say on what's going on in your industry. It's really key.
Engage with people. So engage with your following. It might take a while to get a following, but when you do get a following, and that's both off and online, give your full self to them. Actually care for them and engage with them and communicate with them, because that following is going to help build your personal brand, and they're going to follow you because they're going to believe in what you're promoting. Be you/controversial. Now, you're not aiming to be controversial. If any of you know Jake Paul, he's unbelievably successful, but my God, he's controversial. This is what about being you is. Obviously, you must do your research when it comes to things. Do your research. Don't just jump into things and just say anything. Obviously, do your research. But if you genuinely believe against what everyone's saying, then say it. At the end of the day, controversy is going to build your brand. But don't aim to be controversial. Do your research is really key. I just want to rehash this: document rather than create. That's just so key. Document rather than create. It's just going to make your content creation just so much easier. You can create if you want, but document is just going to be so much easier when it comes to content creation. How can I help you? Now, this is something I haven't mentioned actually, but this is how I believe I've built my personal brand very quickly. Because most people, when they go to meetups, when they go to people, what they do is they ask, how can you help me? That's what you go to the networking meetups. They're always like, how can you help me? How can you help me? That's wrong. You need to do it the completely opposite way. You need to be, how can I help you? Because that's going to be so much stronger for your personal brand. You're going to get so much more opportunities coming back, and it's going to build your personal brand so much more because people are going to want to help you because you're helping them. And that's how I believe my personal brand's grown, is because I'm always, how can I help you first? I'm always doing that first. And another one, this is quite an interesting quote by a very inspirational guy called Stephen Robinson. He's called the one-arm pilot because he literally has one arm and he can fly. He's a really inspirational guy. And he said in an interview, when I was interviewing him, he said, fake confidence until you have it. And I thought that was really interesting because you're not going to be comfortable when it comes to videos, but just fake it. Fake confidence. And by the time you faked it, you won't even realize you started faking it. That's how I got good at talks. I'm nowhere to a professional, but I've just faked it, and now I just feel confident in it. Fake it until you make it, as some of them say. But that's really key with helping with confidence. So personal brand safety. I feel like I had to touch on this one. I feel like it was really key to touch on this one because of obviously what's happened with Jack Maynard recently, even though none of you watch Celebrity Get Me Out of Here. So this is really key. So politics and law. Now I understand some of your jobs might be heavily involved in politics and law, and I guess that cancels you away from this. If part of you is communicating on politics and law, then that's fine. But really, I try to stay away from this. It's just one-way trip to just cause controversy. And what you have to think about, yes, you may feel very strongly towards one side or the other, but you have to think about, if I'm building a personal brand in digital marketing, what relevance, what purpose does me commenting on what's gone on in the government, what relevance does that have to my following? It makes me happy because I've gone and had a bit of a rant, but then the controversy and the war it's going to cause between your followers, it's just, you've gained nothing from it. They don't follow you for that. So don't comment on it, or I would stay away from it. The only time I would is if it affects my industry. So if it really affected the creative industry and maybe loads of agencies randomly went bust for some weird reason, then I would definitely comment. Absolutely, have your say on it, because that means that you're standing up for your industry and people will be interested to see what you have to say about it. Another one, everything is seen. Now, if you don't know the Jack Maynard thing, I would just look it up online. But basically what happened, he went into Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, and they went, as people do, they just troll online, and they went back to like 7 years of tweets. How someone would have just done that, just loading it, play for hours and hours, trying to find it, but they did it. And he was kicked off within like 2 days of Celebrity Get Me Out of Here because of this, something he did when he was 16. Now, whether you agree with that or not, it doesn't really matter because it's gone and got him off, and it's going to affect you as well. So be aware of what you're saying. Just if it's going to be a bit risky, it's going to cause conflict, just think about, does this make sense to my personal brand? Is this me just having a bit of a rant? Does it make sense to my followers? The next one is not doing your research. Now, this is really key because I see this all too much. People just sort of throwing out facts and anything online just to sort of prove themselves. It's, again, you're on this layer of personal brand. You're trying to say, I'm the expert, I know everything, I know everything. That's just, people are going to see straight through that. They're going to see straight through that. The amount of people online today, they're going to see straight through that if you don't do your research. So do your research when you come to promoting your personal brand online. And another one, this is really an interesting one, because a lot of people do this without actually knowing. So claiming other people's work as your own. And the reason people do this not knowing is because actually you can take imagery off Google, or you can take imagery off other pages and you could reuse it. But actually you probably don't realise that the usage rights on that, you're not actually allowed to reuse it. And there are actually settings in Google Images where you can change it and actually see the usage rights. But people don't even realise this. And 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to get cropped up on it. But that 1 time out of 10 could take down your account. It could really come down on you. So just be really careful. I've been affected by it. I did a quote once, and I accidentally didn't put someone's name in it, and someone came at me. Someone came at me online, and I had to take it down. It was just because I just forgot to tag someone in it. So it really is important that someone, because that one person will come at you. And then it's the more amusing one, the replying to the haters, the cyber police. Now, there's obviously the grammar police, which you already know. The grammar police are just quite funny. But the cyber police, it's just not rising to it, because you're going to have people that are going to not like what you promote. And I think it's because of this, because it's something that I've really learned recently through doing a marketing campaign with one of the beauty brands we did, is one of the beauty brands we're trying to replicate is they nailed a campaign so well. It was 18 to 25-year-olds, and they nailed it so well. Anyone outside of the bracket of 18 to 25-year-olds just didn't get it, because they had like the right clothing, they had the right music, the right dance moves, the right trends in the video. If you were an 18 to 25, you would see all these things in the video. You'd acknowledge them like that. But anyone outside that bracket wouldn't acknowledge that. So I believe that's why there can be a lot of haters, because they're not in the bracket of what you're promoting. So they just don't see it the way you do. So that's why I believe there can be a lot of hate on some people. But the second you rise to it, they've won. So be really careful when it comes to dealing with the haters, because you're just going to deal with a battle online. So this is this is a lot more high-level personal branding, how you're going to master it in 2018. So values, mission, and why. So your values, mission, and why, you might all have a good idea of what your values, mission, and why, but I doubt you can write it down on paper, and it is difficult. It took me months to figure out what my values, mission, and why is. Now, the reason I make it very structured like this is for a few reasons. One, it breaks down your content, so you know exactly what you're promoting. And the good thing about this is these 3 things should never, ever change. They should never, ever change. And that if you always have a good idea of what content you're producing, and that's good. So, for example, I'll give you what I do. My value is to always be fully transparent. Be fully transparent to show an entrepreneurial journey. My mission is to show an entrepreneurial journey and create a community of entrepreneurs so they feel confident to be transparent with one another, to discuss any issues they're having. And my why is because I genuinely just love helping startups and entrepreneurs. So it structures your content, and the other main thing is it allows scalability. Now, what I mean by that is, to explain that, let's say 1 week I promoted entrepreneurship. The next week I promoted sharks. The next week I promoted cars. The next week I promoted football. None of them correlate. No, they're all completely different followings. Each week you'd get completely different followings. Therefore, if none of them correlate, there's no scalability. If you're continuously promoting what this is, then you're going to be able to scale it, because people know why they're following you, and they know they're going to get that content every day, every week, whenever you're promoting it. So it makes it much more easier on the scalability on online and offline. So it really helps with scalability. So tell a story, engage people emotionally. So I'm sure you've all heard people buy into you. I'm sure a lot of people have heard that. And it can be a bit difficult to understand with actual brands, because like I work with a beauty brand, and yes, there's a big reason why we create that beauty brand, because a lot of the beauty products don't work. But at the end of the day, a lot of customers they've tried 200 lip plumpers before. Does this lip plumper work, yes or no? They don't really care about the personal brand. Whereas when it comes to actually promoting yourself, it's a lot easier to understand, because it is you you're promoting. People are buying into you, so it's a lot easier to understand. So it's promoting you, and it's about this layers, about being fully transparent and just promoting the lowest layer possible, about being truly honest about who you are, because people are going to engage in that, because they're going to be able to finally resonate with you. They won't resonate with you if you're promoting just, I'm an expert, I'm an expert, I'm an expert. They're just going to follow you because they like your content, whereas they're not going to engage with you, and that's what's going to improve your personal brand, is when they actually resonate with you. So this is the big question when it comes to personal branding. And this is, I find, the biggest issue that people will face. And even if you understand it, you do usually still face it. And that's, are you packaging yourself to be the person you want to be or the person you actually are? And at the end of the day, at the start, you will do the first one. You will package yourself as the person you want to be. Because we naturally do that on social media. Like I said, we promote what we want people to see. Now, it does take time, and that's what I'm learning as well of YouTube, trying to just be more transparent, more me. In the first 10, 20 videos, it wasn't me. And now I've become more transparent, it's more me. And it is a process. You have to accept it is a learning process. It won't happen straight away. But the reason for doing that, again, is communicating stuff that people can resonate with, because they see it's truthfully you. So they'll resonate with you, and they'll follow you because they respect your confidence in what you're promoting because they can resonate with it. And people love a journey. They love going on the journey with you. So don't feel like you need to know everything. They love following the journey of seeing you go up your success and improving your personal brand, both online and offline. So this is, and I didn't deliberately choose him because he's Manchester. I actually didn't. I'm sure you all know him. Do you all know him, Stephen Bartlett? Yeah. Now, I honestly didn't choose him before Manchester. The reason I chose him is I honestly believe he's spearing personal branding at the moment. I believe he is really on the forefront of personal branding at the moment. And the reason I say that is I've really tampered on about layers, about how transparent you need to be. Now, if any of you listen to any, he does do YouTube blogs, but if you go to his podcast, The Diary of a CEO, that he has gone to an unprecedented level of transparency. I've never seen an influencer that has talked so genuine to the name. It's almost dangerous what he does. It can get him in a lot of trouble because he is very honest. And that this millionaire marketer, one of the fastest growing social media agencies in the world, I finally feel like I can actually resonate with him. Yet he's in a completely different world of success. So that's where, if you want to see a new level of personal branding, just go listen to one of his podcasts and you'll understand what I mean. It's just about being fully transparent. And that isn't going to happen overnight. You're very unlikely going to be able to go home and do that straight away because it takes time to get confident with it. And it will take time. So I'll just give you a few personal brand examples so you can go away and just look at some examples just so you can understand what I've said today. I'm sure you know all these guys. So Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, Peter Voog, Grant Cardone and Mel Robbins. And now what I've written here is not actually their company. I've written what we know them for. And that's a bit of a bonus tip when it comes to personal branding. So Gary Vee, we know him for hustle, grind. Tony Robbins, inspirational, life-changing. Peter Voog, he's a millennial entrepreneur. Mel Robbins, the 5-second rule. She's all about breaking bad habits. Grant Cardone, the 10X rule. Money, 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 all sales. Straight away, you say their name and I can give you that straight away. I don't even have to think. And what they've done is this. They've built a culture around their purpose, their why. And that's why I go back to when I said values, mission, and why. It's so important to understand that. Because once you understand that, people are going to understand why they're following you. And the scalability factor is huge. And that's what they're doing. So what you need to do when you go away from this talk is just have those one words for value, mission, and why. And even like one sentence or one word. And once you have that, you've nailed it. And you know what you're promoting. And that's what people are going to buy into. So I just want to leave you with this quote from Chris Drucker. Your personal brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. Remember that, and more importantly, let's discover why. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to plug myself as well, personal branding. If you want to follow me on any social media, obviously personal branding, I'm going to plug myself. There we go. If you want to follow me. And I'll do the competition after, I'll have to go into my phone. But yeah, thank you very much. Any questions? Fire away.
After you developed your presence just personally on social media and stuff like that, what was the next step that you did professionally online to kind of get more out there?
So once you've built your presence online?
Well, like in relation to how we all are right now,
Yeah.
with just Facebook accounts and stuff,
Yeah.
what was the next step that you personally did?
So I'd say, do you have a LinkedIn account?
Not yet.
Right, so that would be the first step. Yeah, have a LinkedIn account and just start building your presence in there. Twitter account, but really the one that's going to win is viewed videos. That's what wins. So YouTube really is, yes, it's difficult to build up a YouTube following. It is difficult, but you can happily promote that on Facebook, on Twitter, on all the other platforms. But videos are going to be what wins. So first, I would do LinkedIn. Then second, I know you might not be comfortable with it, but videos is what's going to win. And you can promote that. Facebook love videos. So if you don't copy the link in, but actually upload it as a video, because Facebook upload videos. And even if you're willing to do some Facebook ads, you can get views for peanuts. It's really easy. So I would say promote it on Facebook, and actually make a Facebook page, not the personal page, because your personal profile is going to have lots of stuff on that won't be useful. So yeah, make a profile page on Facebook, and I would say go into videos and document against create. Yep. Yep.
So I don't know anything about Facebook Live particularly. Like,
Yep.
what would be the difference between why is that better than like YouTube?
So you can, what you can do is Facebook loves videos. Yes, if you're going to do videos, you may as well have a YouTube channel, as you may as well build that up as well. The great thing about Facebook Live is it notifies everyone when you go Facebook Live. So that's really good. If you have a big network, I'm sure if you started at a young age, you've probably got a lot of friends. And it's sort of a bit of an enemy, because at the end of the day, a lot of these friends aren't really going to make sense of building your personal brand, because they're not necessarily going to be the people that are going to buy into you. But in regards to starting up, it's going to help because they might know someone. So Facebook Live is really good because it notifies everyone whenever you go Facebook Live. Obviously, if you're not confident in videos, it's really good with building confidence. But whenever you upload videos to Facebook, I wouldn't link it, I would upload it organically, because you get so much more views from that. But Facebook Live is really good right now.
So like LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm aware of that, but I don't know whether it would be suitable for my line of work. I'm a designer maker.
A designer.
I would be looking for employment. So what kind of platform is it?
LinkedIn is great for, and no matter what you're in, LinkedIn is perfect. Because LinkedIn is not just looking for employers, it's looking for clients. It's not just looking for clients, it's just building your general net. So when you say creative, like graphic design, am I on the right lines?
So fabric designer.
Fabric designer. So you can even get the great thing is you're building a network online. You don't have to move from your seat, and you can build a network. So you can start connecting with people for materials in Manchester, because I'm sure you might struggle with sometimes maybe getting people for materials, or you might need to expand in some part of that, and LinkedIn is going to help link you with people in that area. So even if you're not actively looking for employers, it's going to help you find, whenever you do need someone, it's going to help you find someone. And it helps people find you as well. You never know.
What kind of content would you put on there?
So LinkedIn,
Instagram or Facebook?
so what I do is I upload my videos to LinkedIn. LinkedIn like videos is about, again, uploading against rather than linking it. But it does need to, it can't go over 10-minute videos if you're uploading it to LinkedIn. I would say videos. It's a bit more different because it is a very professional platform, LinkedIn. So that's what I'm trying to understand, is what people will be receptive to on LinkedIn. But I believe videos is fine for LinkedIn, whereas Instagram, it's a lot more lifestyle imagery and videos and motivational. Yes, you can put motivational stuff on LinkedIn, but less people are going to engage in it, and they're not really going to like it because it's more of a formal platform. So posting like genuine content, that more formal content basically. The videos are fine. Videos are absolutely fine, providing you're actually communicating something of value that makes sense to what you do. Is that okay? Does that make sense?
I don't know who the audience would be, because if I'm on Facebook or Instagram, I know I'm communicating to potential customers.
Mm.
If I'm on LinkedIn, would it be more like wholesale clients, or would it be more of a networking thing rather than an individual?
Yeah, for you at the moment, it would just be, unless you're actively looking for someone, which are you actively needing anything, or? No, so you don't actively need, it's just really just building your presence online, because you never know, it's, at the end of the day, having a presence online is only going to help you, even when you don't need it. The time when you do finally need it, it's going to help you. So maybe you don't have to go heavy with promoting your videos on there at first. Maybe just do, just engage with other people, basically just connect with people in the Manchester area in your space, and just engage with some of their posts, just get your name known with them. So then when an opportunity does light up, we'll go, oh, wait a minute, I need someone for this. You can happily go speak to them. You're not a random face. You've actually been engaging with the content. So even just engaging with other people's content rather than promoting your content maybe at the start.
What's your opinion of boosting and paid advertisement on social media?
Paid advertisement. So I think it's a really funny one, because Facebook ads is amazing. But a lot of people argue that because they don't really know how to do it properly. And it can be difficult. It's a bit of a testing. The thing when it comes to Facebook ads is because you have to be willing to throw quite a bit of money at the start, and I think that's the issue that most people face, is that not willing to do that. And that's kind of the game of Facebook. You have to test what works for your for whatever you're promoting. Now, there are some tools, I can't think of the top of my head, that are amazing for it and will give you all these keywords pretty much instantly, which I'll try to find for you later. But Facebook ads, if you know how to do it, it's really good. I don't do Twitter ads at all. I don't think they really work. And obviously, Facebook links to Instagram. So if Instagram's more your game, then you can edit. That's good as well. You can edit the placements. So you might just take it off Instagram, or you might force it on Instagram. Instagram is good. I've recently delved into YouTube ads, but that's more for like big brands. It probably won't make sense to promote yourself on YouTube ads. But Facebook ads is going to be the one that's going to win, and not just brands, but actually your personal brand as well. And you can get views for nothing on promoting your Facebook ads. Any more questions?
I work with startups, and we won't have a following, obviously, to start off with. So what would be the best way to get a following on Facebook where people don't naturally, organically see your content unless because it's not like Twitter where everything's public for what you do.
Mm.
When you've got a page, they generally have to be, at the start, it has to be on the page for it to be shared.
What is it that you're promoting?
So it comes from anything. We deal with health tech products. Literally, people just come with us with ideas, and we try and turn them into businesses. But our marketing team's pretty new at the moment, so we're looking at how we use something like Facebook.
Would you be more interested in followers or sales?
I think that we have like a long-term plan, so we're more we run off investment to start off with.
Right.
So we're looking at more followers. We're testing to see whether people are interested at first.
Right, okay. Yeah, like you said, Twitter's quite easy to build up following very quickly. Facebook can be a bit hard because they're quite rough. For example, even when you build up a following on Facebook, if you post organically, it only ever goes to 1% of your following, which is pretty awful, but it's because they just want to force you to do ads. And building it up organically, unless it's going to be some quite interesting videos and sort of funny content, it's going to be difficult. So I would, if you genuinely just want to build up likes or followers, then you can easily do that on Facebook ads if you're happy to pay for that. If you want to do it organically, you're going to have to be a lot more creative because a lot of people are going to be posting about startup information and factual stuff and industry stuff because there's so many of those profiles out there. And so you've got to find a way to make yourself unique. I would say paid is the fastest way. If you really want to do it organic, it's going to be tough. But you're going to have to think of some sort of unique way that you can add to sharing your, even if it's like some funny videos, and you have some sort of funny spin on it, and do it like that. Okay. Cool. Yeah, this is one that I'm really trying to learn. It's a difficult one, YouTube. I've not tried YouTube ads for my personal brand. I've tried it for other brands, which is good. I don't think it'd work for your personal brand. YouTube, I think the fastest few ways for building up YouTube is one, promoting it on other social platforms. And another one, which I'm currently in the process of doing, is collaborations. That's probably your quickest way to coming to it, is collaborating with people that have got like double your followers, and just, again, going back to what I said, not how can you help me, how can I help you? Because if you email people saying, let me collab with you, I want to build they're just going to say, go away. You need to be like, and that's what I've done. I've emailed those people and I've said to them, hey, these are my skills. I've got digital marketing, I have events, I'll open you to my network. You tell me what you want and I'm going to give you it. I'll commit a full day of, if they got like 200,000 followers, I'll be like, I've commit a full day of work. I'll do anything you want. I'll do admin work if you want. I'll do anything just for a shout out or collaborate. I believe collaborations is going to be the fastest way, but some easy things is promoting it on other social media profiles. And again, just being genuine and being you. But with YouTube, you've just got to have that one thing, and I'm trying to find it. And sometimes it's good luck, sometimes it's been funny, sometimes it's just been a bit weird. You just got to have that thing that people click to, and that's going to help you go forward on YouTube.
You mentioned Snapchat and
Yeah.
video stuff. I'm not a millennial. I have no clue about Snapchat.
Yeah, I didn't actually mention with Snapchat. I wouldn't advise going on Snapchat straight, just because Snapchat's very hard to build a following on.
What is the point of it anyway?
Well, the good thing about Snapchat is, one, millennials love it, and two, it adds a really personal touch, because that is literally your day-to-day. I mean, you can do that for your videos anyway, but that will be an even more personal level, because that is literally your phone, and you're going to be videoing what you're doing. So again, with those layers being a more personal aspect to your personal brand. But
Different to Instagram stories?
well, no, if you promote it at the same time, it's the same. But I mean, it's a more personal touch, because building your networks of Snapchat, it's more friends through friends. It's really difficult. I mean, you can promote it on other social profiles. Whereas Instagram, you can hashtag, you can mention people. There's so many different things you can do on Instagram. Whereas Snapchat, it's Snapchat. So really what I do when it comes to Snapchat is I build yourself on some other profile, and then when you're big on that, I would then transfer that following onto Snapchat and just promote your Snapchat. That's going to be much easier to do it that way. Are we all right for time, by the way? Are we?
2 more minutes.
Oh, wait. Yeah.
I didn't know if you knew anything about or what your opinions were of the up-and-coming Facebook Watch. I hear quite a lot of people talking about.
Facebook Watch.
Yeah, which is meant to be like the competitor to YouTube in like 5 or 10 years.
I'm not fully aware of. I've briefly heard a bit of this, but I'm not fully.
I've only briefly heard about it, so I don't know if you know anything.
No, I can't really comment. I can't say I've done much research on it, so I can't really comment. I'll have a look at it after this, though, and I'll let you know what I think. Yep.
What if you start something and decide you want to change your image after?
So if you start something, you want to change your image. Well, that's why your values, mission, and why are so important, because they should never change. Your reason for doing it should never change. Like, my want to show an entrepreneur journey, I really want people to see that. And my why to just help people, that's never going to change. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and not want to help people. So this shouldn't really change. There are arguments that... Have you ever heard of Simon Sinek? If there's a TED talk he does on your why, a really good talk, I'd recommend you go watch it. But that really explains sort of the power of having your why. What you're promoting shouldn't change, but what do you mean? Like, what do you think you'd be promoting now? Would you be...
Well, I don't really know. It's just like, that we start one style and then decide something else would fit more with.
Yeah. Well, if you do, you do. But really, I would just know your values, mission, and why, and it should never... The core of what you're promoting, you'll always... let's say you do entrepreneurship. You'll always do entrepreneurship, but you might focus on startups, but then you might suddenly focus on something else. That's fine. That's not... As long as it's in the same pool, as long as you don't go from entrepreneurship to dolphins, then that's... Because suddenly you've built a following on entrepreneurship, and now you're going to promote dolphins, and then it's like, what? Are we don't follow? So you just have to be aware that is going to affect your following. I would just recommend, if it was something completely different, I'd just recommend starting another profile. But it's up to you. Okay. Is that okay? Okay. Any more questions?
Last question.
Awesome. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed it.
Are you